The woman received the baby and gave us money, and I paid Michael 500,000. The money was 1.5. Me, Michael, and his wife, they came back to the house. So suddenly on Tuesday, I saw Michael with policemen. They came to my clinic. The 1 million that was given, the 1 million was in my custody.
What was the 1 million given in your custody?
The 1 million was given as a compensation to the business and the agreement I had with Michael, because we agreed at 500.
In a related development, the police have paraded the police corporal Bright Okay and 2 others for alleged armed robbery and car snatching. Spokesperson of the River State Police Command SP Grace Iringekoko, while briefing journalists shortly after parading the suspect, said operatives of the C4I intelligence unit of the command on May the 18th, while on patrol, intercepted a Toyota Corolla at Gateway Axis of Ada George in Port Harcourt. SP Iringekoko said the suspect confessed to the crime during interrogation. The suspect also spoke about their involvement in the crime.
We meet a man that was about to drive into his gate. It's unfortunate, we point at him and drive his vehicle. So on our way out, we meet a police patrol van. So they not go after us. So on the way to escape, we got accident at the gateway.
I was with Bright on the 17th day of May when Samuel called me that there is something that his friend is organizing, and he opened up to me and told me this is about the car snatch. So I now told Bright about the call. He said we will go for it.
G-boy called me for a car snatch. So he said that he needs a driver to drive the car. So, Michael said yes, that Bright will drive the car. So Michael come with Bright. So we went for the car snatch.
Still on crime, police have arraigned a 55-year-old pastor, Pila Erekwa, before the River State Family Court 1 for defiling and impregnating a 15-year-old girl in Indele Community MOA local government area. Recall that Mr. Erekwa, who is the pastor of Gracious Covenant Church in Indele, was arrested by police operatives from the Rumoji division following a complaint by a Mercy, thank God, an in-law to the 15-year-old girl. But when the matter was read out in court today, Pastor Pela Erekwa pleaded guilty to 1-count charge of sexual abuse preferred against him by the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, SCIID. The presiding magistrate of the River State Family Court 1, Chief Magistrate Oge Elkanah, remanded the suspect to the Port Harcourt Correctional Center and adjourned the matter to July 19, 2023 for facts and sentencing. The River State Ministry of Transport has debunked reports that the state government engaged the services of security personnel impounding vehicles that are running one way or taking calls whilst driving. In a statement signed by the State Commissioner for Transport, Jacobson Mbena, the ministry says much as it frowns against traffic violations, the report is false and should be dismissed. The statement warned mischief makers to stay away from roads in the state and not to harass innocent citizens carrying out their daily activities. Elsewhere, the Department of State Services, DSS, says it is charged and battled suspending Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to court. It follows the order of an Abuja High Court yesterday that asked the DSS to charge Mr. Emefiele to court within 1 week or release him. Hours after the court order, DSS spokesman Peter Afunaya said Mr. Emefiele has been charged to court in compliance with the court order. The DSS spokesman, however, did not state the court where Mr. Emefiele was charged and did not state the allegations brought against him. A federal Capital Territory High Court has dismissed the case against former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The presiding judge, Justice Yusuf Alilu, described the EFCC's charges of fraud and abuse of office as an abuse of the judicial process. In another development, the chairman of LMA Local Government Council, Obarimate Olo, has issued a 2-week ultimatum to Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited (NNPCL) to release funds for the reconstruction of the LMA on-air axis of the East-West Road. Mr. Olo, who made this known to our correspondent, said youths will mobilize and block that section of the East-West Road at the expiration of the ultimatum.
I found out that the issue on ground is for NNPC to immediately release funds for ROCC to mobilize to site. We do not intend to use this as a point of protest, but should this not be done within this month of July, then there will be compulsive need for us to allow our people to make a very loud noise, because I believe that is what pushes people further for them to act fast.
Mr. Ola said the bad state of the road. Mr. Ola said the bad state of the road, or the bad state of the LMA on-air road, has impacted negatively on the Rivers people.
The people that are suffering most is the LMA people. Then, before we talk of the neighboring local governments and communities, mind you, this road is also an access to Akwa Ibom State and Cross River State, through which you can even get to other parts of the country. So what is happening here is a complete disservice to the people of River State in general. Our people are not happy. You can see people trekking and losing time to go to work. Some people are losing their jobs. Some people are dying. And we cannot continue to keep quiet.
As you may know, the bridge at Aleto has several times caved in. Several accidents have been recorded on the road due to its bad state. Last year, former President Muhammadu Buhari directed NNPC and its subsidiaries to fund the construction of the Section 4 of the East-West Road through the tax credit scheme. Well, still to come, presidential election petition, court reserves judgment in APM's petition. Stay tuned. Is my name. The Presidential Election Petition Court has reserved judgment in the petition by the Allied People's Movement (APM). APM is seeking nullification of President Tinubu's election on the grounds that his running mate Kashim Shettima was not qualified to contest, having allegedly engaged in double nomination. After parties adopted their final written addresses, the chairman of the panel, Justice Haruna Simani, announced that judgment was reserved until a date could be communicated to the parties. A public affairs analyst, Marcus Ijoma, is worried that the move to provide palliatives will foster corruption. Mr. Ijoma, in an interview with correspondent Constance Mega, questioned how the 500 billion naira that President Bola Tinubu sought approval for from the National Assembly yesterday will be utilized.
it's rather confusing that you will remove something that people are already enjoying because you can't fight the corruption that is endemic in the system, and then turn around to create another conduit pipe for another corrupt practice. The right thing to do is that whatever monies they claim to have saved as a result of no longer subsidizing should have been quickly translated into production and other avenues that can quickly create wealth for Nigerians.
But another analyst, Oluwale Ojo, believes that the president will not allow for mismanagement of the funds in his administration.
The president does not vividly carry an anti-corruption banner on his head. He's somebody that follows through with anything. If you don't perform, he will fire you. That's the kind of person we have as president. So many people don't know. And we don't know the nature of palliative. For instance, if there are vehicles for different state governments at a highly subsidized rate or even free, and they are given to transporters so that the transportation from one city to another can drop. If some of the funds are given to people to assist them in modular refineries, that is palliative.
And Mr. Ojo wants Nigerians to follow the money for proper administering of the palliatives, but he called for patience. Yesterday, President Bulletin declared a national emergency on food security as part of measures to check the rising cost of food and guarantee price stability. Moving on, Nobel laureate Mahala Yousafzai has expressed admiration for Nigerian foods and culture. Ms. Yousafzai, who described herself as a global citizen in an interview with Channels Television, said she ate Nigerian puff puff just before her speech at the United Nations, and it was amazing.
And now the business news.
To business now. Eating the popular roasted plantain meal, otherwise called bole and fish in Port Harcourt, now cost about 1,500 naira as against 500 naira before now. Our correspondent visited the popular Elekaya bole spot. Reports that the price increase followed the rising cost of transport due to the removal of petrol subsidy. Some bole consumers spoke to our correspondent on this.
Only one tail of fish when I go touch there, they say na 2,000. So the least fish here is 1,000. Plantain is 400, 500. Yam, the same thing. So before you go call here now say you dey come sit down, chop belle full wey be say no be say to your own taste to under economical levels, you go just put like 2,000 or 2,500 for pockets.
Before we fit eat bole 500 naira, you go drink mineral join, chop bole, chop fish 500 in waka. But now before you go chop that one finish, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Person wey earn 30,000 naira for a month no dey near that place because bole too cost.
Like this rainy season, I don't think this is the right season for it. So that's why it has gone up. It's very costly.
As a bole fan, if you want to eat bole, the price should not scare you away.
Bole sellers complained of low patronage.
Before they buy bag of pepper 12,000, now na 30-something thousand. Onions now na 60 for one big bag of onions. So all those before buy and grind on charcoal before they buy 1, 2, now na 10,000 one bag. Oh, get all those that only spend money. So everything just add. Make piece of plantain 2,000. If we sell them like now, we sell them for 500 or sell them 600. We know if you get out the net profit. Buy another bole, they bring out charcoal money, bring out pepper money, sauce money, oil money. So if we don't sell them high, we know if you get out that money.
You go market to buy something where you take do bole, no tomato where you go buy 500, you no go reach you do anything. Maybe you go budget like 5,000. Even the thing wey we dey tell wrap the bole, e cost. But some people when they say bole too cost, no be plantain wey we plant for our backyard.
Already fees 2,000, we have 500, like 2 yam there, food wey dey na 3,000. We are buying 4 plantain 2,000.
Plantain and yam traders at the Rumokoro market also spoke to our correspondent on this.
Plantain business is not the way it was. One fruit bunch 7,500. At times we sold 8,000. At times 9,000. Depends the bunch. 10,000.
Even though the yam are in season, can't jam the fuel matter. So the size of the yam, the lower one what we get now 1,500 to above. We go see yam up 3,000, 4,000. But now the 1,000 naira na very small yam. I don't even have it.
Our correspondent reports that a bunch of plantain, which was earlier sold between 3,500 to 6,000, now retails for between 7,500 to 10,000 naira, depending on the size. A tuber of yam, which ranges from 700 to 1,000, now retails for 1,500 to 3,000 naira, depending on the size. To entertainment now, Hollywood actors have joined a strike by screenwriters in the industry's biggest shutdown in more than 60 years. Some 160,000 performers stopped work at midnight in Los Angeles, bringing a halt to most U.S. film and TV production. The Screenwriters Guild (SAG) wants streaming giants to agree to a fairer split of profits and better working conditions. And in sports, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will face familiar foes, South Africa, for a place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The World Cup will be jointly hosted by the US, Canada, and Mexico. And finally, from the international scene, Ghana has defended its policy of sending aside UN Refugee Agency, urged it to stop deportations. Ghana's National Security Ministry said suspected terrorists and illegal migrants were being repatriated in accordance with international protocols. Burkina Faso is in the grip of an Islamist insurgency, and Ghana is concerned that the militants could take advantage of the flow of refugees to infiltrate its territory. And that was the news this afternoon. But before we could depart, a recap. A police corporal gets dismissed over involvement in car snatching. Police arrest man for selling his 3 children in Rivers State. The DSS says suspended CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele has been charged to court. LMA Local Government Council Chairman issues ultimatum to NNPCL to fix LMA on-air access of East-West Road. And on the foreign scene, Ghana defends asylum policy after UN criticism. The news was edited by Martha Kere Nkem. Light rain showers in Port Harcourt expected this afternoon with temperatures of about 26 to 28 degrees centigrade. Please be advised. Peace is a path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Jude Omamigbe is my name. Good afternoon.